Many people criticize religious people for not being rational enough, and there is some truth to it. You must admit, many religions in this world are advocating blind belief and all sorts of things like that. But nevertheless, there is still a very strong core of rationality in religion, generally speaking. And, even though I don't like people speaking about religion as if as if you can use the word religion to describe all the religions of the world and to ignore all the differences between religions. It's just the same as like speaking about scientific theories and just including all theories inside of them. Doesn't matter who created the theory and what evidence it has, just to put them all inside the world scientific theory. And obviously there are some scientific theories that are better than others, and it's the same in religion. But that's not the point I want to discuss now. Um, the thing is that there is a very strong argument for religion that many atheists seem to ignore, and many people that make fun of religious people, and those things are the fact that we are living inside a super sophisticated world now. Now, some will claim that this world is not perfect, and if God created it, it should be perfect. Nevertheless, nobody claims and nobody can argue that this world is not a highly sophisticated place, and everywhere you put your eyes, um, you see highly sophisticated mechanisms in trees, in living creatures, in human beings, in everything, from the smallest uh, uh, creatures to the biggest. I mean, it's just everything is so complex and so efficient and so coordinated that it's unbelievable to say that it was all created by chance. I mean, there is and the laws of nature and how everything is correlated and how everything is so fine-tuned. Even the greatest atheists admit that it's very unlikely that something like that could have happened out of chance, out of pure chance. And so there is a big reason to believe that there is a creator to this world, and that's something that you have to ignore all the time if you're an atheist, because it's something that you see all the time wherever you put your eyes on. If you look at the trees, if you look at birds, if you look at yourself, at your movement, at your hands, at your legs, how everything is so incredible. I mean, you can run, you can see, you can smell. It's all so complex and so organized and so beautiful. And if you're an atheist, you have to ignore that all the time and to say, well, that's just just a matter of coincidence and just a chance, and that everything is so beautiful and organized and symmetrical. Now, obviously, this world is not perfect, but nevertheless, it's like an Apple iPhone is also not perfect, and every year they're producing another iPhone. So what? So somebody will say that this Apple iPhone is not was created by chance. Everybody understands that something so complex and so well designed cannot be created by chance. So that's one thing that atheists must ignore all the time, and that's a strong argument for religious people. Very strong argument, and they can say whatever they want. Nobody ever made a serious claim against this claim. And at the end of the day, it's like this famous atheist that in his last days changed his mind. What was his name? I can't recall now. A famous British atheist. So he changed his mind because of that reason, because of the complexity of nature. But he was only humble enough to admit it when he was old. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that we are mortal. You see, human beings are mortal, just like any other living being in this world. And when you are mortal, and you have to face your mortality. So one of the resorts that our minds takes us is the spiritual realm, to think about spirituality. Now, you don't have to believe in spirituality. You don't have to accept all the religious dogmas that were created during the years, but you do have to consider it at least. And it does have to give you some strong reason to be more spiritual and to think more about spirituality as an option, maybe for some sort of a continuation of life, because at the end of the day, not like Stalin said that religion is opium for the masses, not like that. I mean in a serious way, in a very serious and judgmental way, to actually consider it, because we are created, it's in our genes to crave for life, to never have enough from this thing called life. And when you see your death in front of you, and you know it's inevitable, you know that death is waiting for you one day, so every sane human being will want to do something about it. Not just say, oh look, there's nothing after it, I know. How do I know? Well, I just know there is nothing after it. Let's just ignore that there are hundreds of cultures from around the world that do claim to know things about an afterlife. Let's just ignore all that. I know that there is nothing because nobody ever saw anything. Let's just ignore also all the near-death experiences and all those. I'm not saying that you should take it as an evidence, but at least bring it into consideration. I mean, think about those things, about all the. In my family, just an example, in my family, there is a completely secular man, that he told me a story about how he was rescued in the Holocaust by using a seance with an old woman. I mean, I'm not saying that I have to believe him, but at least, an old man, a secular man telling me a story like that, at least I can consider it as an option. And surely when you know that so many cultures in the world are claiming are supporting this claim of an afterlife, so at least consider it. Don't just dismiss it by saying that you know that there is nothing. At least consider it. Because it's something that you cannot ignore. I mean, the fact that we are all about to die, it's just a fact. And the fact that there is no physical solution so far for this problem is also a fact. And the only reasonable solution that you have is to turn to spirituality. If you have any other solution, go ahead, put it on the table. But the only serious solution so far is the spiritual one. So I'm not saying that turning to spirituality will solve all your problems, because it's still a riddle and you still have a lot of research to do. But at least give yourself some area to explore. Don't just dismiss everything. That's what I'm saying. Don't just, like many atheists do, say that there is nothing based on the fact that you never saw anything and just dismiss it all. Just like any other thing in life, when you want to study something, you go and make a BA in the university. It takes you 3 years and you still don't understand most of what you learn. You just trust the scientists that told you those stuff. So when it comes to such an essential part of your life, the mere existence of yourself, so you can at least give it a fair amount of time to research and explore. Nobody tells you to believe anything, like many people say, but there are so many religions, so how do I choose my religion? Like, they probably are all false, because, well, of course, if that's where you're coming from this point of laziness, and you are saying, as if somebody needs to do you a favor to go and prove you what religion is true. It's your life, it's your problem, go sort it out. But one thing is certain, by just saying that there is nothing after it and ignore it, you won't reach peace in your life. Because we do want to go where we are heading. So if you're serious enough, buckle up and go to the journey. If you're serious enough about your life, nobody needs to do you a favor to prove you or disprove you anything. If you're serious about your life, you need to develop a judgmental attitude and go do your research. That's all. Many people have done it before you and many people will do it after you. It's not something impossible. You just need to want to do it. Just as a small example on how to judge the credibility of religions, a very simple method is to just examine the basic claim of the religion and to see if it's something that is able to be proved. That's just a very simple matter. Just look at the very simple claims, the most basic claims of this religion, like the books, the foundation books of this religion, and try to examine whether those books can be proved or not. And there are methods to examine those things if you're serious enough about it. There's a lot of literature about it, and all you have to do is to be serious enough about your life. That's all. And yeah, so I think that I just wanted to speak about those 2 points of mortality and the complexity of life to give a very strong basis, in my opinion, to the rationality of, of religious people in general. So I think I will conclude here.